the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. We are in my home, away from home. We're in New York City right now, the Big Apple. And my guest at this time, the man that they call the megastar. Please welcome...
Here he is.
LA Knight.
Yeah.
Cheers, man. What are you drinking there?
It's just some water.
There we go. Off to a good start.
No, actually, what do we call this? It's a blunt force soda, I think is what we're calling this. There's a little bit of the old Wheatley vodka. That's your first ingredient.
There it is.
Yes, sir.
There it is.
What else could it be? You go ahead, you add yourself some soda water, and you think, well, that's probably enough, right? No. Then you go ahead and you add a little bit more Wheatley vodka, huh?
I love it.
So, then you get yourself a little tasty beverage. Now, look, some people, maybe they don't like the taste of just some straight up, vodka and soda water. But for me, this gets it just right. Make sure your macros are good. I'm not taking in a bunch of extra sugar that I don't need. That's just my taste, you know what I mean?
Cheers. I
Cheers
love it.
to that.
Cheers. Wheatley and myself, the American Dream Team, here discussing people's American stories and the roads they've traveled down to be in the positions they've been in. You mentioned macros.
Yeah.
So just in general.
Yeah.
Fitness. This is something that, as a wrestler, I'm asking you, as a wrestler, how we look and the physical side of this, important to you.
Huge deal.
Yeah.
For me, we're of a similar age.
Right.
I grew up at a time where all I knew was WWE and WCW. Yeah. And most of the guys had a particular look, and they all were not only larger-than-life personalities, but large bodies. And in that regard, I hadn't even realized the indies were a thing until I decided to venture into getting into the business.
Yeah.
So, I didn't have that knowledge. So going to my first independent show was culture shock.
Yeah.
Because it was like, wow, wait a minute, these guys actually put themselves out there like this? And I mean, no offense, more power to you. But for me, I gave myself a rule. I gave myself a goal. I said, I can't even let myself start training until I get myself over 200 pounds. Now, I graduated high school at 165 pounds. The first year, I worked out and ate like a maniac. I put on 20 pounds. I was up to 185. Short little story here for you.
Yeah.
I was the only non-convict dishwasher at a restaurant my senior year. It was me and like two other convicts who were on work release. Great company.
Did you know they were on work release?
I did, yeah. They would come and get dropped off in a van, and so the one dude was jacked, and I was like, dude, what do you do? I'm 17 years old.
Yeah.
I want to know. I was always fascinated with like muscles and growing muscles, and I grew up with He-Man and Hulk Hogan and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to know how to do it, and so I asked this guy. I said, what do I do? And the advice he gave me ain't gonna work for everybody, but for me, he was like, you got to eat until you can't eat anymore.
Yeah.
And then you eat some more. And that was part of it because of the fact I was like I wasn't like skinny, like I didn't have anything to me. I was lean, like stuff's cut out, but I was just 165 pounds at 6 feet, So at that point, then I went to college, like I said, eating like crazy, working out, all that stuff, put on that 20 pounds. But I was still like, all right, well, I'm 185, that's fine. But I can't even dream of getting in a ring until I'm 200 pounds.
Yeah. And
so I hit that goal, and then I started training probably, I had to save up the money first, so about a year after that. So very important.
Very happy to hear you say it's very important. I have discovered, mainly in the social media realm, I have discovered what we call, me and my one buddy Matt, we call effort shamers. So now people talk about like, you can't, body shame somebody, or you can't yell things about them, or whatever it may be. But then there's types of wrestlers who do like the idea of, this is what I want to look like. This is what I thought of with sports entertainment, with wrestling. I want to have these abs. I want to have these biceps, whatever. I've noticed when those people start talking about their gains and what they're doing, there's kind of an attack. So we call them effort shaming.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm thinking like, this is a positive. Like, I remember I had actually said about a talent who I knew at another company. I'd said like they're growing into their body, and like that's cool to see. And I remember people thinking like that it was a toxic outlook. And I started, because I always want to educate myself. I started thinking like, is my mindset toxic? Is it because I grew up with the idea that wrestlers could be all shapes and sizes.
Sure.
But if they weren't Lex Luger,
Yeah.
if they weren't Hulk Hogan, if they weren't the Ultimate Warrior, then there had to be a thing they did.
Exactly.
That subverted the expectation. So there'll be wrestlers who are like overweight today, and people will be like, "Oh, it reminds me of Dusty," and I'm gonna be like, "Whoa,
Yeah,
like, that's not that's not the main component."
There's dimensions there.
And they're always like Dusty. I'm like, no. Dusty's it worked for him because he subverted expectations on his athleticism and the promo. Like, can't just say like, "Oh, I don't need to work out." So I'm like,
that's one of the biggest problems, and I hate to sound like, well, this is the problem with, but that's kind of what happens with like. A lot of guys get stuck, and girls get stuck on, well, this guy did it, so and it really ends up being more of a way to not put in the effort, if that makes sense. Because then it's like, okay, well, I don't have to put in the effort because this guy didn't. And it's like, it's not quite the story. Yeah. But also, you're not giving yourself the most advantages possible. Yeah. Because you need to give yourself, this is a tough business to get into. You know that, I know that. You have to give yourself as many advantages as you can. And that's the first one in my book to make it. You look at the guys who have made it without having those advantages, they are 1 in a million. Yeah. And I mean, there's room for maybe 1, maybe 2, tops maybe 3 of those guys on a roster. And that's it. Otherwise, it's got to, end of the day, it's entertainment, it's part of Hollywood in a certain way, right? So, I mean, there is a certain thing. We're like superheroes in a way. Superheroes and supervillains. Superheroes and supervillains don't look like slouches, and that's no offense to anybody that loves it. I'm not saying don't love those people. Yeah. Those people deserve all the love in the world as far as in their personal lives and everything. But if you're talking about excelling at something that most people cannot do, then you have to put in the effort to do the thing.
Oh, I'm fully on board with what you're saying. Fully on board. You said it's a very hard business to get into, and you said that I know that. And I'd actually say, well, I'm kind of a Nepo baby. So I feel like...
Sure, but you still are aware of it. You still know. You still face challenges, all that kind of stuff. Everybody's going to give you, you had a famous dad. And look, you did. But at the same time, like, there's plenty of guys who had famous dads who floundered and never ever went anywhere.
Yeah. Well, you talking about breaking into the business and the difficulty with it. First question is, you notoriously, before megastar LA Knight, before this meteoric rise that continues, you were in a fitness DVD with our boss, our creative director, Triple H. Mm-hmm. When you look back at it, and here you are,
it was a hard workout. Is that what you're going to ask me?
Well,
it was tough.
The workout was actually tough?
I mean, kind of. I mean, in certain ways. I was using muscles I don't usually use, I guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
In looking back at that workout, being a background, a supporting player in somebody's big DVD or fitness, what this video was, now having seen the level of success you've had, the level of fame, and you're as much as LA Knight is very loud and proud individual, you're actually a rather humble and down-to-earth individual. So I'm telling you how amazing what you've done is, and I'm curious, how does that feel when you look back at it in terms of the journey?
Oh, I've never looked at it in that framing, at least in that particular framing. But yeah, I mean, because that's such a funny moment just with that even happening to begin with, where it was like, when I was on the outside, I didn't know I was ever coming back. It was said that, hey, the opportunity might be down the road, and there were opportunities, but they weren't meeting quite right. So on the outside, I would just, occasionally I'd have the screenshot where there's like me and Triple H and the thing, and I'd be like, oh, look at this tag team and stuff like that, and just playing with stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, you look at something like that, you almost wish everybody forgot and it didn't exist. But at the same time, it's one of those pieces of the puzzle where it's like, all right, look, I got my first shot here. That didn't work out so well. Yeah. And that's a little souvenir, I guess, from that run, or I guess if you can call it a run, kind of that first shot in a sense. And so, there's a lot of pride in that, and there's a lot of, if I'm honest, there's a lot of... There's like a touch of resentment, just a little bit, because I feel like, my God, I've been doing this like long enough at such a level where I'm like, I should have been doing this 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But there's another side of me where I'm like, you know what, though? In a weird way, this was really kind of the perfect way to do it.
Yeah.
I got to have a hell of a life and live a hell of a life. Now, those years in my 20s were a struggle, like financially, everything. I mean, between working a normal day job, plus making sure I had the time to go and work shows on the weekend while maybe paying my rent, maybe not, I don't know. But once I started getting into my 30s and I got that, I think I was 30 years old by the time I finally first started the PC at WWE in 2013. First time I made $45,000 that year. I thought I was rich.
Yeah.
Because I was barely scraping by before that. I was making 45 now, I'd feel kind of broke if I'm honest. And I say that with complete humility because I've been there, I've dealt with that, I've done that. And so, yeah, I can look at that with a certain level of pride, resentment, and also still just looking over my shoulder no matter how much reassurance I get. It's always just like, all right, somebody's going to try and take this away from me at some point. So I got to make sure that I hold on to this and just keep running that ball forward. And that's all I can do.
If you were to do a fitness video, you as the attraction, you as the main star, would you ask Triple H to be in it, to do the workout?
He'd have to be one of my background guys, yeah.
I think he has to be,
yeah,
right?
He's got to repay the favor. That's full circle on this.
That's the full circle moment.
Yeah, if I'm honest, if I did a fitness video, I'd feel like a fraud, which is crazy because I write my own fitness programs, but I feel like nothing can be evergreen, if that makes sense in fitness. It's an ever-evolving thing. I work out differently now than I even did 3 weeks ago, let alone 10 years ago and whatever. So it's tough to kind of, when I just wrap my head around that, it's like, all right, well, how do you do that? And I don't know, because you can't be like, well, this is what you do just forever and ever. Just here you are.
College? Was college in
I went to a year and a half of college.
What happened?
I went to college the first year. It was a lot of money for out-of-state tuition to go to West Virginia University, and I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I ran cross country my senior year in high school, and I did well enough that I was third on the team. And I got like some small scholarship offers to like tiny schools I'd never heard of. It was, partial rides, no full rides, no nothing like that. But I got in my stupid head, I told you I'm dumb. I got in my head where I was just like, I want to have that college experience of like going to the football games on the weekends, and, that kind of thing. And I don't know. So WVU seemed like my best option. I was living in Maryland at the time. University of Maryland's the requirements you needed to get in seemed a little above me because I was very much a C student. Yeah. And not because of I was a very good test taker, awful homework doer. I am a procrastinator to the top degree.
I like that.
I like it and hate it because I always wait until the last minute. And then I'm like, all right, now I'm scrambling to do it, but I feel like I do my best work then in a weird way. So it was very much C student, very good in like SATs, ACTs, all those scores were good. So I'm like, okay, cool. I should be able to at least get into this school because their requirements are slightly lower than UMD right now. WVU, anybody who goes there is angry at me for saying that. Yeah. But I didn't even bother checking with University of Maryland, which would have cost me so much less. Anyway, get to West Virginia University. First year goes fine, except for I was in academic probation after the first semester because I don't do homework. But got that all cleared up. Everything was good. We're going to the second year. I start going to my classes. Everything's cool, but I hadn't quite secured a loan yet. Working on it. There's that cutoff, like about a month in, where they're like, all right, well, your money hasn't come through yet. Well, you're not registered for classes anymore. And I go, well, it's coming. Just let me keep coming in, and I'll keep taking the tests, and I'll keep doing everything. It's coming. Finally, we got to December, and the money wasn't coming. My parents had just gotten a divorce. Their credit was in the toilet. I didn't have any credit, at least not enough to cover $15,000 of student loans for a year of tuition. So that was the end of my college career. I moved back home. Got a bunch of little odd jobs until finally I was just like, maybe I'll finally go and give this wrestling thing a shot about a year later. And that was how I ended up. I did go back to school for like a year and a half when I was in Ohio for a little bit at a community college, but I never finished that either.
You start your wrestling journey. Who's the first person you wrestled?
Well, my first match was like a 6-man. Oh no, I did get to run in and just kind of get tossed and pinned real quick.
Yeah.
Matt Stryker, Unibrow Matt Stryker, not teacher Matt Stryker.
Okay.
Heartland Wrestling Association there in Cincinnati, Ohio. But yeah, I came in a bathrobe of all things, which is kind of goofy. But I had my whole life, I've been terrible at time management.
Yeah.
We're letting it all out today. All my issues, all my negatives, all my problems.
Let me frame this up.
Yeah.
You said you're terrible at time management.
Yeah.
I would say notoriously the most terrible at time management talent, well known in the locker room, who's also a genius and also amazing and great, is Sami Zayn. Are you on that level of bad with your time management, where you're taping your wrist as your music is playing, heading to just in one of the? It terrifies me.
Well,
so we're not that.
Well. I mean, there's never usually that bad, but there has been once or twice where it's come pretty close. But I always assume I have more time than I do, and I hate waiting. I hate just sitting. That's why I hate going to the airport until I don't want to go to the airport until I have to. So like an hour out is good because I'm gonna have to wait a little bit. But like people go like 2-3 hours. What are you doing? Why are we doing this?
It's crazy because that's me.
Yeah, really?
I'm early.
What are you doing? Why are you doing this? You know what? It's probably less stressful.
It's so much less stressful.
But I just can't stand sitting there. I'm like, give me that hour. I mean, unless are you checking bags?
Nope.
Okay, so no, if I'm not checking bags, oh my God.
Everything's on the bus.
What are you doing? You're not even checking bags. If you're checking bags, I can kind of understand it, but even then.
And I'm not typically in the lounges or anything drinking either. It's just so, gotta be there. I don't know if it's a travel anxiety.
Oh, you're straight up lunatic. I can't even do that.
Yeah.
Oh man, no. I have such a hate for just. But this is also probably the problem why I'm on my phone so much because I'm not good at just sitting still. I always need some sort of stimulation. So like, because of that, I try to fill so much stuff in a little bit of time, and then it's like, all right. I can definitely get all this stuff done before that happens, and then I end up late to things. Yeah. So I had this habit of being late to things. So in that match, I remember they had me like show up late, like I was just coming from a massage or something. I come out in like a bathrobe, and then bathrobe and slippers, and I immediately just got like stomped and pinned. So it was a good first showing.
And how old were you at the time?
20.
Wow.
20. Yeah. Young baby face. Well, not a baby face, but a baby face.
Wrestling and sports entertainment for so long is traditional good guys were kind of out the window. The anti-hero was the thing. Then just the general villain was the thing. It was opposite. You were cheering for them, but also still kind of following a traditional structure in a way. We're now at this place where there's multiple superstars and multiple WWE wrestlers who are enjoying the fans, and the fans are enjoying them, and they're on their way up. And there's kind of this golden circle that's forming WWE of, I mean, the only way to put it is top guys.
Sure.
Do you feel, and I'm flattering myself in this moment because I'm putting myself in this golden circle with you.
How could you not?
So, but do you?
What do you mean? You're the champion. How could you not?
Do you feel?
By the way, I'm hot as hell right now, and I'm wearing shorts. You got to be burning up.
I'm trying to move very little.
Yeah, all right, go ahead.
Yeah. Do you feel that people pit us against one another in terms of, like, there can only be one?
I haven't actually looked at it that way.
Yeah.
I've looked at it as though there has been yes and no.
Yeah.
There have been comparisons, and I think that only happened really because of with me busting out at the end of 2023 in the merchandise game, where it was like I was up there and doing that stuff. Then it was like, oh my God, okay, wait a minute. Cody was doing all the merchandise numbers. Natalie Knight's doing the merchandise numbers, but Cody's right there, and they keep switching. It's back and forth and all this kind of stuff. So I think that kind of introduced that. I don't feel like, and maybe I'm being overly humble at this point, but I don't feel like people have put me on that same level yet, if I'm honest.
Okay. No, I feel like I feel like people do put you on that level, and rightfully so. Again, I know you're not gonna say it, but rightfully so. And I'm always very curious because I actually like to meet that head on. I had a similar experience with Sami Zayn, again, who's dropped his name twice in this, where I thought, like, I don't want to not...
Sami Zayn show.
Yeah. I don't want to not talk about it. Yeah. Like, I don't want to not... And I just love the idea that it's a roster filled with
that's great.
And that's great.
How terrible is it to have one guy and then a pool of guys who are just hoping to get a taste of it?
What a good problem to have.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, have I noticed a little bit of that? Sure, but I don't think that it's... I don't think it's risen to like a fever pitch or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've seen it. I can see it. But again, I don't think that, or some people, but I don't think the general audience yet has put me on the same. I'm like knocking on my ceiling, your floor right now. I feel like I'm right there. Like I'm on the 11th floor, you're on the 12th. Like that's what I feel most people perceive.
And I imagine, going off of your analogy in 2024, heading into 2025, you're looking to break your own ceiling, develop a new ceiling. All.
I mean, I could just be like, this is enough, and just hang out.
Some wrestlers are that way.
Yeah, that boggles my mind. Yeah. Getting back full circle to the beginning where we're talking about effort, because I've seen so many people where it's like, and again, it's just you fight so hard to get what you want. You got it, and it's like, I'm cool. I don't need to go to the gym as much, and I don't need to take care of my appearance or, invest in my gear. How's that a thing? How do you struggle to get there? Then you do, and then you get different strokes for different folks. I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it.
How do you feel about? I love it.
I have to love it because it's done very well for me. I'll just put it that way.
No pun intended. No pun intended.
I mean, sometimes then I hear my own voice and I'm like, all right, that's enough.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, when the thing that messes me up now is I'm going through the airport or the grocery store or the gas station or whatever, and now I'm hearing people go, yeah. I'm like, are they talking to me? Or are they just... And I'm like, if I hear it again, then maybe I'll look. But otherwise, I'm just minding my business. But that can be kind of confusing.
It's a good rule of thumb. If you hear it again, then it is for you.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I think so.
I've had several gym encounters where someone was telling me something. One of these happened today. Get off the carpet while class is in session. And I thought he was a fan who was saying nice things to me. And then I turned off my headphones and was like, we got class in session. You got to get off the carpet. Oh, yeah. But for a minute, I just went like, yeah. And then I realized he wasn't putting me over. He was actually moving me along.
Well, I was watching something on YouTube. It was a little short where somebody asked, I think it was Brad Pitt, like, how do you just move through the public as, and not that I'm on Brad Pitt level, but we encounter, people who know us in public and whatnot. And he was like, the key to it is just keep moving. And so it's like I can acknowledge, and I mean, unless somebody stops, hey, can I take a picture or whatever, but if it's just kind of a, hey, and just acknowledge and keep on about my way.
Right.
Just makes it easy.
You brought up Brad Pitt, so favorite Brad Pitt movie? I'm going with 7. The ending is just it's just jarring. 7's where I'm at. Honorable mention, Benjamin Button. Yeah.
The most recent one I just saw, and maybe this isn't on anybody's list, I don't know. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
So good.
Very good. So I'd probably go with that, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's my favorite or not, or if it's just the fact that I've seen it the most recent. I'm terrible with favorites, but
kind of a modern classic.
Anytime people ask me favorites, I'm like, maybe this one or that one. I don't know.
Looking at your career, looking at your story,
yeah,
and I feel like it's safe to say you had a lot of hardships,
sure,
things that have hit, and that's what makes this so exciting to see you kind of blow the roof off. What would you say to somebody? What would you say to yourself when you're in that bathrobe and you're breaking into the business and this is what you want? What would you say to that guy?
I I'd say this is getting too serious for me. I don't know if I can handle it.
No, is it? No, it's a deep.
This is getting too.
This is Brad Pitt.
This is too Oprah for me right now. No, you know, I mean, trite as this might seem, it'd be simple. Just keep doing the thing. I mean, what else? Because that's really what it came down to. Because there's so many different pitfalls and opportunities and places where I could have just been like, yep. That's it. And I had pressure to do that. Family, friends, girlfriends. I can remember a girl I was dating when I was like 23. I had just moved to California on my 24th birthday. And everything that could have gone wrong went awfully, terribly, horribly wrong. And like my car broke down. I had a roommate that went crazy, so I had to move out of the house. Now I'm couch surfing, and I have no money to move into a new place. Like all kinds of stuff. So eventually, what I ended up doing was I just retreated and drove back cross country again once I got my car fixed. My mom had to pay for that, so that was cool. Thanks, Mom.
Shout out to the moms.
But that was a thanks, Mom, with also a dressing down of like, you need to get a real job and quit this wrestling stuff and all this kind of stuff. And also the girl I was dating at the time was like, you know, well, maybe it's just not a career. You know, maybe it's just like a hobby. Like, you know, my dad loves music, but like he just plays on the weekend, but he has his normal job. And I'm just like, I'm like, that's fine for most people, but like that sounds like death to me.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't succumb to that. I couldn't give in to that. I had to just keep doing it. And so, yeah, I mean, if there was anything that I could impart, it would just be keep doing the damn thing because there's something there. And I think you have to be realistic with yourself. You have to do a realistic audit of, hey, am I really actually good at this thing? Yeah. Do I actually fit into this thing? And I think that time and again, doing that realistic audit, yes, I think so. But for whatever reason, I just, whether it was political issues or maybe just not fitting the right time, the right place, whatever, it just wasn't happening for me. And it just was such a struggle to get places. Or rubbing people the wrong way. I lack people skills. It's been said of me, and it's probably true. And so with that being the case, that probably gives me a challenge getting in the door too. That's the biggest challenge I've had when I started wrestling in Ohio. Not everybody, but a lot of the guys hated me.
Yeah.
The first time I was at the Performance Center, everybody hated me. And then when I first went to TNA, everybody hated me. But there's this period where like a few months go by and either I've worked with everybody or I've hung out with some people. A couple times maybe some alcohol was introduced in the situation, some loosening up happens, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a minute, this guy isn't what I thought he was. He's actually all right. And then everything's cool. Now, by the time I got to WWE this time around, I had crossed so many different paths with so many people, that wasn't an issue this time. So I've been doing it so damn long.
You want to know who told me you were the real deal? They gave me the like, oh, he's the real deal. You'll love wrestling him. You'll love having him in the locker room. Do you know who told me?
I'm curious.
Abyss.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
And,
I love Abyss.
And that's someone for sure. If he says something, you know it's true.
Yeah.
You know, there's no reason to lie.
No, yeah, because I mean, Abyss has dealt with me on all different levels. Yep. I mean, in the ring, outside of the ring, all that stuff, producer, everything. So yeah, man, I've always had a great relationship with him, and I love that. So I love the fact that he said that because, you know, again, I'm so used to, again, going into those situations. Everybody hates me for the first little bit. I just expect that.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I almost lean into it where I'm just like, all right, well, if that's the case, then I'll let them have that for a little bit. And then eventually we'll get to the good stuff.
Mm. You were in the ring at WrestleMania 40 for the final match of the night with myself and Roman Reigns afterwards. Victims of the bloodline, family, all of that. Not so much a question as much as, obviously, you know, I appreciate it and thank you for being there.
Sure.
What I look forward to in terms of your story and the continued path you're on, and hopefully you're not wrestling me in this, but
are you challenging me?
What I look forward to is whenever that moment comes, I hope that I can be in the ring and hoist you up just as you guys did for me, just because
I appreciate that.
Yep.
And I also appreciate the fact that break the fourth wall here. You did send me a nice text message afterwards thanking me for coming out there. So I do appreciate that and just recognize it. Because for me, it's like I still, in my head, even though I'm always pushing for the top, I'm always looking for that spot, I always want to be there. There's still that question in the mind of like, do people really see me there?
Right.
Whether I do or I don't. And so in that regard, I'm almost just like, how many people are looking right now like, what the hell is this guy doing here? And so, you know, there's a little bit of that. And so then when you texted me and everything, and you were just like, hey, man, I really appreciate you being out there. Top guys, this, that, whatever. I'm like, I appreciate the hell out of that. So thank you.
Cheers. I sent another text that night to The Undertaker. And maybe a little bit too much Wheatley vodka in my system at the time that I sent a 7-minute long rambling voice memo. And I heard him later because now anything that said The Undertaker has his one-man shows. He has Undertaker's.
You're part of the show now?
Yeah. So, but he basically told everybody he cut it off halfway, and was happy for me because it sounded like I was having a good night. And I can't remember.
Just couldn't take anymore.
I felt like I had put in a lot of. I was so thrilled to have like The Undertaker involved with it, the sheriff of the locker room, and. Yeah, so that was another text that went out that
Did he mention the shirtless photo you sent to him?
No, he didn't say. No, it hasn't been brought up yet.
Right.
After all the anticipation and everything that you've done in terms of your body of work, your career, how satisfying is it to know that you have completely broken out, that you are continuing upwards on this meteoric rise after all this anticipation, all this hardship? How satisfying is that to you?
I don't know.
Right?
Very, and also at other times I forget.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense at all. I'm so used to being on the outside looking in where I'm constantly in that fight mode. I almost have to like remind myself like, hey, you're there at this point.
Right.
Like you, and that's not to say like relax in the sense of like, take it easy. You don't have to put in the effort, but relax in the sense of like you don't have to always be, you know, raring and ready to go.
Yeah.
In that sense of just like in that fight mode. For me, like I like to take care of the people around me, take trips, things like that. So like one of the things I'm doing is like, end of the month, I'm going to take a bunch of friends to Vegas. Friends I went to high school with, a couple of them I went to elementary school with. It's just me and 5 of my guys. And I decided, like, I'm doing pretty well. I know some of you guys. We like to take a trip every couple years if we can, but it's usually somewhere that's easy to get to for everybody. And I was like, you know what? Why don't we go to Vegas? I know some of you guys can't afford it. I'll take care of it. I'll take care of your flights. I'll take care of the house that we're going to be at. And everything's on me. And for me, it's just like, some of these guys, I've slept on their floors.
Yeah.
I've slept on their couches. They've been there. I mean, hell, one of the dudes, we used to like wrestle on his back deck, doing Royal Rumbles and stuff back there. So I mean, like things like that where it's like, okay, now I can go and like take care of the people around me in a way where it's like, I don't need to be lavish and stuff like that. So in that way, I am incredibly appreciative and satisfied in that regard where it's like, now I can, have fun and kind of give back, I guess, in a weird way, as trite as that also sounds. Because, you know, not everybody's doing as well as I am at this point.
Right. And it could all change.
Right.
You know? And you got to enjoy it.
100%.
Those type of actions and doing that's the right guy.
I'm more of the type, and I'm not saying I'm, you know, Mother Teresa or something, because I'm a human at the end of the day. But in more cases than not like that, I'm probably going to end up spending money in a way that's going to bring me joy through bringing other people joy, if that makes sense. And I feel like that sounds so BS and like I'm just saying stuff for the camera, but I can't mean that more.
It's the vodka, you know? It's the vodka. My friend LA Knight, I am going to show you here the Wheatley Vodka jingle.
Wheatley is so good, I'm drinking. This song right here is the red, white, and blue. You got the taste, and you drink like it too. Wheatley is so good, I'm drinking gluten-free American vodka.
So what we ask here is, Wheatley so good I drink it, and then you tell me what you would put there.
Well, clearly it has to rhyme, right?
It doesn't.
No, it has
But
to.
I mean,
it must. What are we doing? What kind of a song is it if it's not poetic?
Sure.
Repletely?
Repletely?
That's a bit wordy, though. Completely?
Yeah, that works. That works.
Completely so good I drink it. No, nothing.
Nothing. I think completely. We'll go with completely, but also
let's go with
I want to
completely.
revisit repletely because you could repeatedly. There's an element there.
Yeah, I just went through my mental dictionary.
Cheers to doing it completely. Final question.
Drink it completely, yeah.
Wheatley Vodka and myself, we like to call ourselves the American Dream Team when it comes to your career, your future. If you were building a team, who is on the team for LA Knight?
I've been so used to being my own team for a long time, I don't even know. Well, you know what? I mean, if I'm going to go... look... my team that gives me the most joy to go home to. How about that?
I love it.
You've got a dog, Pharaoh.
Yes.
I have a couple of my own. Big old Herman man. He's a big golden retriever.
Love it.
Big 100-pound golden retriever. Yeah. So Herman would have to be on the team. Of course, his little sister Reese. She's a little mixed mutt. Well, you know what? Look, the mama's got to be in there too. So Michelle, it's gonna be the mama Michelle. It's gonna be the Herman man. And it's gonna be Reese Peasy.
What a squad!
Yeah.
Cheers to the team.
Squad up.
Squad up.
Bing. And look at that.
Thank you very much.
Wheatley, so good I drink it completely. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.